All right. So it's moving, it's recording, so we're gonna get started. So we're gonna do Introduction to Medical Terminologies, Chapter 1. You have your PowerPoints there, so follow along with me. If you have questions, please raise your hand and ask appropriate questions, okay? Guys, if I'm on the way, let me know. Well, I'm sit over here, so that you guys, I won't give you my back. You can sit right there, there's enough spaces there. Okay. All right. So here we go. So Introduction to Medical Terminology. What is it? Well, this is what we're going to teach you and show you how you can come up and make up medical terms using Latin terms. Every word that you see, like for instance, cardio or cardi, that's a Latin term. Okay? Cardi refers to what?
The heart.
The heart. Okay? Cardio refers to something that has to do with the heart. And we're going to learn how the different ways to make the terms. We're going to be able to prioritize terms, okay? So you're going to study several terms, and then we're going to learn how to make those terms along the way. Right now, you guys should have already done your prefixes and suffixes, the sheets. And I need those, okay? You need to make sure you turn them, I want them, okay? Now it's me. I'm your teacher, not Ms. Loren. So if you did your prefixes and suffixes, I need them. You need to turn them in for a grade, all right? So if you didn't finish them, you need to finish them, and I need them. You have not done any of it, then I'll give you, till Monday, and you need to put them. I know you have class on Monday, but this doesn't mean you can't come in here and place it in your cubby, okay? So if you have not finished your suffix and your prefix sheets, you need to finish them. Along with the puzzles that you haven't finished, I need those too. If you finish them, don't worry about it. There's two puzzles, a crossword puzzle and a,
You gotta finish both of them?
yes, and a word puzzle. So you need to finish both. What happens?
She told us to just do one of them. That's right.
They're up there on the table in the corner. These two.
She said we picked one of them, and I picked that one right there.
Like you could
And
either
then I
have the
finished my
crossword or
own.
you could either have the
Okay, so I need to make sure that you turn in either or, as I'm being told. But I also need your suffixes and your prefixes, okay? So you need to finish them. If you haven't turned in your puzzle, whichever one it is, I need it also, okay? Because I am not going to have zeros in there just because I forgot, okay? Don't work that way, all right? So, next. These are the 4 basic types of word parts that we are going to use to create the complex medical terms that you normally hear in healthcare. One of the terms is called a word root. Your word root is normally the first part of the medical term that you create. I'll give you an example. Cardi. Cardi or card or cardio is your root word. Okay? Neuro. Neuro is a root word. Okay? Now, in order for us to finish, we also have what we call combining forms. Combining forms is what we're going to use to put the words together. Just like in English, we have suffixes and prefixes. Where does your suffix go? Somebody. At the end. Very good. Where does your prefix go?
In the beginning.
At the beginning of your word. And now, when we use either a suffix or a prefix and attach it to a root word, we're going to use a combining form to put them together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody with me?
Yes.
All right. Cool. Your word parts are like a word puzzle. How do I put them together? How am I going to put them together? What do I need? Okay? So it's a little puzzle. Okay, we're gonna start with word roots. Word roots usually, but not always, indicate the part of the body involved. They can also indicate such things as a science. They can also indicate a procedure. Okay? So it's not always just a body part. Let me give you another one that has to do with, I'm thinking, histo or hist. What is H-I-S-T? What does it mean? What's hist?
Oh.
Who can tell me what hist is?
Like that?
No, that's different.
That's Heister. This wait, H-Y-S-T-R, and then it's like
H-I-S-T, hist. What does that root word mean? Okay, I'll give you a complete word. Histology.
The study.
The study of what?
History.
Yes.
No.
Is it for science? Is it for science? That's what she said.
What?
I'm using it to find some like medicine.
No.
What? Can you repeat the words?
don't be looking
Ah, you cheater.
He always be looking
He was thirsty.
Cheater. No. Histology means the study of living cells or cells. Okay? Ology means study of. Hist is cells. Okay? Now, what are we using in there in order for us to combine the words? Histology.
Oh,
An O. Okay? A combining form. Very good. We're using a combining form. And in this case, we're adding the O to put histology together. Good. Examples of root words. Cardi, heart. Gas, stomach. Near, nerve. You have a note there that says, word roots do not mean pertaining to or relating to. That meaning comes from the suffix. So your suffix is the one that is going to tell you either pertaining to or relating to. Again, your root word is the one that tells you the body part, okay? But not always. Remember that. Are we okay? Everybody on the same page? Everybody taking notes? Good job. All right. Now we're going to look at combining forms. You're going to create your combining forms by adding a vowel. The most common vowel that we'll have.
Oh.
Okay. The most important. Hold on. Who's tall enough and can reach?
I'm tall enough. Girl, I got the
Okay. All right, we're gonna continue this way. Mr. Burr is just gonna have to get a Okay, we'll tell them that it's not working.
Okay. Tell Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Langston.
In the office. All right, guys. So let's get back. Mr. Burr is resourceful. We can still do this. All right. So we have now that we're going, in order for us to create combining forms, we're going to add a vowel. That vowel is usually an O, but you can also use A, E, I.
Oh, you.
And U is rare.
And sometimes
Okay.
Y.
But there's others that you can use. There's some of your consonants. All right? And what we do is that we add that combining vowel between your root word and your suffix or your prefix, depending on what we're doing. Prefixes, yes ma'am.
Did you say sometimes why?
I said that. She said that. But yeah, sometimes we do use the Y. Yes, it's yours. Yeah, guys, your PowerPoints, your copies, they're yours. So you can run in them. I want you, obviously, you need to pay more attention, okay? Yes, when I give you these, they're for you to write, to highlight, to, for you to have, so when you get your test to study, you have something to study on, okay? All right, so let's get back. We're going to use our combining forms to combine, okay, and connect word roots. Okay, and the time that we're going to use a combining form is when the suffix begins with a consonant. So if we have a suffix that begins with a consonant, then that's when we're going to have the need to add a combining vowel. Okay? And depending on what we're doing, then that's the vowel that we're going to use. Yes, ma'am. Huh? Yeah. Oh, I don't know, but this one's good. All right. Yes, ma'am. All right. No, not yet. So let me give you. All right. So let me give you guys an example of when we have a word root and we have a combining vowel. All right, so let's wait a minute. All right, so let me show you on the board real quick what I'm talking about. So I'm going to erase this right here. All right. So you can tell when you're using or you're gonna use you're using a combining vowel because your words are gonna look like this. Okay? That's one. The other is the other way you'll see it is, okay? That's when we know that we're using a combining vowel. Okay? You'll have a separation between your root word and your combining vowel. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. So we're ready to continue? Yes. It's card E, but it's a combining vowel that we're attaching to our root word. So you'll have a slash, okay? And let me tell you why it's like that. We say when we have a combining form, okay, that is going to appear low, like in this case, you'll have your root word, the slash, and the combining vowel. Okay, that's telling you that that's a combining form. Okay, and the example, I gave you card O, but there's another example, like okay, gast. Oh, yes, ma'am.
For cardio or cardio, isn't it supposed to be cardi or
you can either do cardi or cardo, okay? But when we're talking about the hard, we'll use the card E, which is card/I, okay? Because we're gonna say, let me give you an example, cardiologist. Can you see what I mean? And then I'll give you another example. Let me show you. So if I give you the word,
Mrs. Struggling.
and guys, I don't normally write print. I usually write cursive, okay? So, what would be our root word here?
Card.
Okay.
Cardi.
No, card.
Card.
And then
So where am I gonna put the,
see, after the D, the slash,
okay?
after the D.
And where is my, suffix?
No, the I. It's gonna be after the I.
In between the I and the O.
Is it ologist or logist?
Ologist.
Are you sure?
Yes. Oh, I hit it right.
Okay, so when we say cardiologist, what are we talking about?
Ologist. Cardi.
So what does that mean?
Person is
One that studies the heart. Very good. So cardiologist would mean one that studies the heart. Good job. Let's do. Okay, so what about this one? What is the root word? So where do we put the slash?
After the R. After the R.
Okay.
And then you put it after the O.
What's your combining word? Neurologist. Okay. What is neurologist?
A person who studies neurology.
One who studies the nerves. Neuro is nerves.
Inside the brain.
Neuro is nerve. Okay, so are we understanding what we're talking about combining vowels?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So remember, I'm gonna give you the rules right now because I need you to. There's rules when it comes to this.
Power on several of these outlets, only because their phone's plugged in, went out. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't mess with the power. So if you ask Mr. Sanders or someone to check the power, I've just moved it to one that works.
Okay.
This computer also isn't getting power because of that. So it'll
Okay.
well, it's several of the outlets. Yeah. Just so he knows the door. But yeah, so I'm gonna ask Mr. Kimball to go to someone.
Okay.
But yeah, just so you know what the
Alright, thanks. Cardiovascular.
Pertaining to the heart.
Oh, that's me.
Look, come on now, let's go.
Oh, no, that's my favorite. It's on you, though.
I know, right?
I just want them to see my hand.
Yeah, I was gonna have you seen that white person in that video? Like,
Yeah.
So ugly.
he doesn't sound good though. It makes it look so.
My head got so bad.
Guys, you're recording.
It's a drug.
This is what I'm asking you to behave because we're recording. The other class is gonna see your behavior.
Wait,
And so it's just the last time.
Sounds like in July. Can you hear me?
I just sent it today. I mean, nah, I dance in front of him.
Would you like to go see?
Yeah.
Oh, yo.
He goes like,
Guys, I understand. I'm trying to put this back up.
she can do it though. I borrowed yours.
Alright, so any questions so far about what we have taught and seen?
No. Wait, what's the question?
I'm asking you if you have any questions about what we
No, because you said kind of. No, you said kind of, because you asked if we have any questions or concerns. You said kind of.
kind of what we've seen, yeah. Alright, no? Okay. Alright, so here we go. Alright. So here we go. So we were just talking about it, okay? When using used when connecting word roots or when word roots is joined to a suffix and begins with a consonant. So if you have a word for instance, we get gas that starts with a consonant, starts with an air. Then we put the slash and the O to make sure that we can combine it to our suffixes or prefixes. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna give you real quick your guidelines because I don't think you have them up there. Okay. So here are some of the combining forms examples. You have cardi and O for heart, gas, O for stomach, near O for nerve. Okay? Now let me give you the guidelines. First one. It says a word root cannot stand alone. This is one of your rules. You need to write this down. A word root cannot stand alone. A suffix must be added to complete the term. So I can't just write neural because that's not a complete word. That is just your root word with a combining vowel, and that's it. So I need to add my suffix to the end of that. So I'll repeat the first rule. A word root cannot stand alone. A suffix must be added to complete the term. Okay? Rule number 2. It says, the rule for creating a combining form by adding a vowel apply when a suffix begins with a consonant is added to a word root. The rules for creating a combining form by adding a vowel apply when a suffix begins with a consonant is added to a word root. Begins with a consonant is added to a word root. We gave you the example. We say neurology, right? What does logy begin with?
In. Oh, neuro.
What does logy begin with?
Oh, L.
An L. So what do I need to add to the root word neuro in order for me to combine it with a O? Okay? Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
If my suffix begins with a consonant, example logi, and I want to combine it with the word newer, what do I have to add to combine them together? A combining vowel. And the combining vowel is going to be O, neurology. Okay? The third one, the third rule. When a prefix is necessary, it is always placed at the beginning of the word. When a prefix is necessary, it is always placed at the beginning of the word. Everybody got that? We lost power, that's why. All right. Ready for the next one? So these are just some of the ones that you will see, and you have a picture of that, combining forms. And so you'll have, for instance, spinal cord. The root word is myo, and the vowel is O. So the combining form is Milo. MYEL/O. Okay? Then you have muscle for my, and that muscle is My/O. Myo. That is your combining form. Give me the one for bone. What is the root word for bone?
Bone.
What is the combining? What is the root word for bone? Osteo. If you add the O, it'll say osti/O for osteo. Okay? What is the combining form for joint? Joint. No, like a joint where you bend, like your elbow, your knees, those are joints. No. Neuro is nerve. What is your combining form for a joint? Nobody? Arthro. Arthro. You have a disease called arthritis. Okay. What does arthritis affect? Your joints. Okay. It can be your hands, it can be your knees, it can be your elbows, it can be your back. Okay? All right, we ready? A suffix is usually, but not always, indicate the procedure, condition, disorder, or disease. An example of that is cardiomegaly. What does megaly mean? Large, enlarged. Megaly is enlarged. So we say cardiomegaly, what are we saying? Enlarged heart. Very good. How about neuritis? No. What's itis? No.
Pain. Arthritis is.
What's itis? What is the suffix itis mean?
Pain.
Inflammation. So neuritis is inflammation of a nerve.
Why does arthritis mean pain in the joint?
It is inflammation of the joints. The inflammation causes pain.
I got you.
Okay? Arthritis is inflammation of the joint, and yes, it causes pain. Okay, we're gonna go to the next slide, and then here they're actually showing you how you put them together. You have your combining form, and then we have a suffix, and when you put them together, you have a complete word. Okay?